Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this live stream today. I'd like to begin just by taking a moment to honor the victims, 19 children and 2 adults of the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, in the United States yesterday. We ask you to join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Today, we're highlighting a new Faunalytics resource called the Animal and Social Justice Fundamentals. It's a long-form set of infographics that explore the variety of ways that social justice issues intersect and overlap with animal rights and advocacy. We created this resource because all of us on the Faunalytics team feel strongly that these issues are not just optional for animal advocates to consider. We believe that they're essential elements of a shared struggle for justice for all people, animals, and the planet itself. We cannot, and we will not, fight for one to the exclusion of others. I'm going to share my screen as I share a little bit about what's included in the resource. So the resource begins with a discussion of farming and labor, and that includes a discussion of migrant labor in plant animal agriculture. It includes a discussion of labor abuses in slaughterhouses, and it includes a discussion of the rampant use of slave labor in the global fishing industry. And of course, I'm going through this very quickly on screen, but we will be including the links to these resources as well as the resources from our guests in the Facebook Live chat. And this is our infographic about labor exploitation in animal industries. From there, we move on to look at factory farming and environmental racism, with a special focus on North Carolina, which happens to be one of the most closely studied states when it comes to this issue. In that state, the vast majority of pig and chicken farms are located in low-income African-American communities. We know this because in the 1990s, an academic by the name of Dr. Steve Wing began studying the issue, and for his efforts, he was harassed and sued by the North Carolina pig industry, who wanted him to give up the names and addresses of people who participated in his research, which he refused to do. The pressure on him continued actually until his death of cancer in 2017. And arguably the pressure has created a chilling effect that has persisted to this day, and that has meant that that environmental racism remains an issue that's understudied. Apart from the studies that he did in North Carolina, we have some data from Mississippi that we've explored as well, but it remains an issue that's understudied to this day. From there, we move to talk about issues of sexism and gender and animal advocacy. We go from the use of sexualized imagery of women by both meat companies and animal advocates to further their goals, to a discussion of gender inequity in the animal advocacy movement, including a look at how major animal advocacy groups are primarily staffed by women, but have positions of power that are disproportionately held by men. And finally, in this resource, we look at the ways in which whiteness and the colonial mindset work their ways into animal advocacy. This happens both in terms of the topics that animal advocates choose to focus on and the angles that they take. Think about the myriad animal advocacy campaigns which look at indigenous hunting issues or the consumption of certain animals in other parts of the world, for example, but also in terms of the way the movement itself is dominated by white voices. The final two infographics in our resource shift the focus. We didn't want to simply just look at all of the problems in animal advocacy or in social justice in general, but we wanted to give people ways that they could take action and support groups that are working to make a difference. So the final two infographics look at animal advocacy groups around the world doing good work and making change actively right now. In the spirit of making space for these amazing voices, we wanted to invite change makers from around the animal advocacy space around the world to join us on this Facebook Live. I'm so excited to be joined today by Brenda Sanders from Afro-Vegan Society, Patricia Sato from Alianima, Sopani Niwa from Animal Advocacy Africa, and Lauren Ornelas from the Food Empowerment Project. In the next section of our live stream, we will hear from each of them about their work and what their groups do and how you can support them. And we're going to begin with Brenda Sanders from the Afro-Vegan Society. Stop sharing my screen there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Faunalytics team, first off, for this resource, because it's going to help us in our work immensely. And also, thank you for just inviting us on this show and giving an opportunity to platform what we do, because there's still so many people who have never heard of Afro-Vegan Society. So I'm so appreciative for the opportunity to speak about our work. And I love Faunalytics, first and foremost. I wanted to say you're one of my favorite organizations, not least of all because I'm just able to win so many more internet debates using your your info. So, I mean, that's not the most important thing, but it's very important. And so I like to thank you for that. If I were going to sort of sum up Afro-Vegan Society, I would say that we are a national nonprofit organization that's on a mission to provide free, and that's really important to me, education, resources, and support to help people in marginalized communities to begin making healthier, kinder, and more sustainable life choices. So far, our main focus has been on helping to ease people's transition into vegan living through our regular online events like the Dump Dairy event, which is a 4-week workshop that happens during National Dairy Month. Events like our National Afro-Vegan Conference, which is an event where we bring in lots of folks who give lots of resources, talks, panel discussions, cooking demos, that kind of thing. Veguary, which is an amazing event. It's a 30-day vegan pledge that happens during Black History Month. We just felt like there should be something that exists that both highlights the accomplishments of Black vegan trailblazers and also gives people the support that they need to be able to start to transition to living vegan, as well as our upcoming, really exciting upcoming vegan activist training program, which will be accepting applications for in the fall. And that is new and it's exciting and it's just a natural sort of extension of the work that we've already been doing. And the reason why Afro-Vegan Society needs to exist is because the people who live at the furthest margins of society, which, I mean, who most people don't even think about often, namely low-income Black people and other people of color, are generally not prioritized by the organizations that are doing this work. And this information is life-saving and it's world-changing, and every single person deserves to have an opportunity to be able to access this information. And so that's the reason why Afro-Vegan Society needs to exist, and it didn't. And so me being me, I was just like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And so you know, I founded this organization, and we've just, the AVS team has been able to do so much and change so many lives and reach so many people And so again, I wanted to thank Faunalytics for bringing me on to talk about this work, but I also want to take some time to thank the AVS team, because these are just the most brilliant, most amazing, most just passionate people who I know and and who I've had the pleasure of working with. And so I wanted to go ahead and in the time that I have left and thank the team members. Right now, it's Jessica Carter, Jessica Sanders, Jamila Alfred, Ray Robbins, and oh my gosh, and and Jasmine Johnson. All amazing women, all very passionate, all very committed to doing this work. And they are the reason why we've been able to do so much. And so thank you to the AVS team, and thank you to Faunalytics, and thank you to the other folks on this panel for all the work that you're doing as well. And that is it for me.
Thanks so much, Brenda. And I know that we're going to include links in the chat, but if you wanted to just say the website out loud and let people know where they can find out more about the Afro-Vegan Society, that would be great.
Absolutely. So our website address is AfroVeganSociety.org, and there are just so many resources on there. I mean, we're constantly we want to be a resource to people who are looking to change their lives. And so that's the main place. We're also on all the social media platforms. And I don't know, like we have a YouTube page
You do,
with
yeah, it's great.
lots and lots. Oh, okay. Thank you for looking at our YouTube page, you and the 17 other people. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, a few more. So that's how folks can reach us. And again, our resources are always free. So please, please, please take advantage.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So next up, we have Patricia Sato from Alianima.
Hi, everyone. So let me just take a second to share my screen, just to show a few slides. Can you all see it? Yes? Okay, thank you. So first of all, thank you so much for Faunalytics, for inviting us to this live. And it's hard to speak after Brenda and her amazing work, but let's go. So my name is Patricia. I'm a veterinarian, current president and technical director of Alianima. We are a Brazilian NGO, also nonprofit, and we have been working since the end of 2019, and our focus is on farm animals. So the main points about Alianima is that we are a group of experts in farm animal welfare. So we based all of our actions on scientific research to promote, the adoption of better living conditions for pigs, laying hens, broilers, broiler chickens, and fishes by food companies and also farmers. We work with food companies and farmers in order to get from them, public animal welfare policies from them, while we keep monitoring the adoption of these commitments. We give technical support for them to, make it easier for them to promote the lives of the animals, give trainings, and promote events. We are a member of the Open Wing Alliance, which is a global coalition for poultry, laying hens and broilers. We are more than 70 NGOs across all continents, and we are also now a member of the Aquatic Animal Alliance. It's also a global coalition. And this, in addition to our official website, which is alianima.org, we have this one, which is like Animal Watch in English, where we list all committed companies. We talk about the reality of the industrial farming, and where we make our materials available, like ebooks, case studies, and reports. So just a quick talk about what we work for. So for laying hens, we pledge for cage-free housing systems. And here in Brazil, in partnership with other NGOs operating in this country, we have accomplished more than 140 cage-free policies, cage-free companies. So just a few. For pigs, we are asking companies, sorry for my dog, for companies and farmers to ban these individual turbo crates during gestation and to adopt group housing instead. And we are most recently asking for more welfare improvements, such as banning ear notching, teeth clipping, tail docking, and surgical castration with no pain control at all, and to control the use of antibiotics. So here we have more than 20 companies committed. For broilers, we are still aligning the standards to demand from the industry. And we have now an online petition against the use of fast-growing genetic breeds for public awareness, because consumers don't know about this, and also to demand legislation here in Brazil. So if you want, please scan the QR code, sign, and share with your friends. It is in Portuguese, unfortunately, but it will be very, very good if you can also participate. And finally, for fish, we are starting now. So we are still developing educational materials, especially for retailers and producers on the sentience and welfare of fish, such as tilapia. Brazil is the fourth greatest producer of tilapia. So we have to choose a few species because it's very challenging, because each species have specific needs, and people don't tend to have compassion for these animals, you know. So, but we feel the need to start doing it. So this is it. So thank you so much, and just congratulations to Fuanalytics for this amazing piece. We need to speak more about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patricia. And up next, we are going to have Sopani Niwa from Animal Advocacy Africa. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the Animal Advocacy Africa website.
Thank you so much, Karol. First of all, allow me to introduce myself or reintroduce myself. I know, Karol, you have said it correctly, but I would still say it again. My name is Sopani Robert Newa, and I'm representing Animal Advocacy Africa. I am the program manager for Animal Advocacy Africa. Basically, I lead the strategic planning, implementation of our capacity building interventions here in Africa. For example, managing and coordinating the support we give to African animal advocacy organizations enrolled into our program. Now, that said, allow me to give an overview of what our organization do on a regular basis. Animal Advocacy Africa, in short terms, AAA, we work to strengthen the funding capacities and effectiveness of African animal advocacy organizations that are reducing animal suffering. Particularly, we focus on those organizations that are, focused on farmed animals. We are proud to say that we are one of the first effective altruism aligned organizations dedicated to building the capacities of existing organizations in Africa by focusing on funding and organization effectiveness. We achieve this through implementing a capacity building intervention in the form of one-to-one support, and also we conduct group sessions to help advocates develop the relevant skills and a clearer understanding of running an effective animal charity. We provide advice, resources ranging from fundraising, strategy, decision-making, operations, and communications. So our main aim with this program intervention is to help organizations overcome challenges, prepare for growth, and do more effective work that will help animals in relatively neglected geographical regions. So that's kind of like a very brief summary of what Animal Advocacy Africa is. Let me just give you some hints on what we have currently done in the past year and in the past months or so. So over the last 1 year, we have published 4 research reports. We are excited that one of those reports that we have just published in the past week. So we're excited about that. And we have created 6 databases on our website about opportunities such as funding, mentorship, training, and networking that African organizations can tap into. This year alone, in the past, we have helped about 2 organizations here in Africa to have access to grant funding, which they didn't know about in the past. Those 2 organizations are focusing on projects like vegan school campaigns and educational campaigns about animal welfare happening right here in Africa. Towards helping.
So Pani, you
Sorry,
could
can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. You just cut out for maybe 15 seconds. So if you want to just go back a tiny bit.
Okay, yeah. So I was giving a hint on the few activities that we have done in the past several months in this year. So we have helped out 2 African animal advocacy organizations to tap into a funding resource that can help them create impactful work on the ground. We believe that this funding pool would give a long way towards them implementing impactful work. We have also advised other organizations on how best to pursue more impactful work for farmed animals in the case of cage-free work, amongst other interventions they were considering. And we have also built and improved 5 organizations in terms of their web presence and their social media presence. So we have had them connected to volunteers who can be able to do capacity building in social media, for social media presence, and also build their websites to ensure that their visibility is much more higher. Besides those key highlights, we also do group sessions in line with mastermind groups that are aimed at problem solving. So we have these organizations network together and come together and help themselves solve out problems which other organizations have experiences on. So that being said, allow me to give closing remarks. So Animal Advocacy Africa still has a long way in helping animal advocacy organizations in Africa to reduce animal suffering. We feel that we are only tackling the tip of the iceberg here. Statistics say that 3.2 billion land-based farm animals in Africa, are based in Africa, and a shift towards intensive animal farming practices is expected to occur. We are committed to helping these organizations in Africa because the continent only receives about 0.6% of total global farm animal funding. However, 11% of land-based farm animals currently are here in Africa. We believe that at the same time, there are many animal welfare organizations and advocates that are eager and aware of their role in reducing animal suffering. So we work to empower these advocates and improve their capacity to help animals so they are ready to absorb more funding. We believe now is a critical time to help build the animal movement in Africa before animal practices become more intensive. So just to wrap it up, we believe that this network can support us in one way or another. I think you can support us by following our work on our website, our newsletters and social media presence. You can also support us through volunteering. We can link you to the organizations which we work with, so much so as you can volunteer there, or you can volunteer directly within our programming. As an early stage organization, we also value feedback very much. So the more you give us feedback, I think the better we'll become. And finally, we also welcome donations for those who are interested in having an impact through financial contributions. We are still looking to raise about $60,000 in this current year. These funds will allow us to continue strengthening the capacity of organizations in Africa throughout the year.
Sapani is frozen. We'll just wait for a moment to see if he can come back. I think he's back.
Sure, sorry about that. I think the network
That's
is
okay.
Sure. So yeah, on the last point, I think I just wanted to say that you can also support us through our making donations to our program. Currently, we are still searching for about $60,000 that will go an extra mile to support our programs and our initiatives in this current year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I give it back to you, Karol.
Thank you so much, Sapani. And you can visit their website at Animal Advocacy Africa, all one word, .org. And finally, we are joined by Lauren Ornelas from the Food Empowerment Project. Lauren and the Food Empowerment Project have been at the forefront of trying to bring a broader social justice perspective to animal advocacy for many years. And we're so excited to have them on the live stream as well. So with that, I will let Lauren take it away.
Hi. First, I want to recognize that I am speaking to you all from the Tamian Nation land. It is where I reside. It's also where Food Empowerment Project's headquarters is, and we feel it's important to recognize the ancestors whose land this is and to always constantly remind ourselves that we are on stolen land. I want to thank Faunalytics for the report and for allowing us all to be here, and honored to be with amazing activists that I know, like Brenda, and to get to know other activists in your important work as well in countries that are often overlooked and are seen as places for the United States and the others in the West to steal from and not give back to, especially Africa. So I want to thank you for your work there. I got involved in the animal rights movement in 1987, went vegan in 1988, and constantly felt like I had to leave a part of myself behind, that I wasn't able to be my true self and embrace my culture and my identity. So it took me quite some time to start Food Empowerment Project, which I started in 15 years ago. This is our 15-year anniversary. And I started the organization because of the need to recognize that many of us in the movement have felt like we had to focus on non-human animals and put ourselves beside, that we had to, and I acknowledge just please that it's a very emotional time right now. Uvalde is very close to my hometown, and so I'm doing my best to get through this, and I appreciate your time and understanding. So if my voice is quivering, it's just trying to hold it together. But a lot of times we've had to put aside who we are, and as people of color, we are made up of so many different pieces of who we are. We are women, we are Black, we are brown, we are Indigenous. We have different lived experiences that many people in the animal rights movement that I was a part of understood, a very privileged perspective. Somebody like myself who couldn't be vegetarian or even vegan when I was young because we didn't have the money to. And so the movement constantly was forcing us to leave a part of ourselves behind, an understanding of social justice issues, understanding that it's not easy for everybody to go vegan. So I started Food Empowerment Project, and the link that you all should see includes our values, because built in the organization are values that include much of the stuff that you would have learned about in the Faunalytics report, that we can't set a part of ourselves aside, that Food Empowerment Project would be an organization that we embrace the full individual, and we embrace those individuals who understand that other social justice issues cannot be pulled apart when we talk about what's happening to non-human animals, that all of these issues are connected, that these are values that our organization upholds as part of our identity against homophobia, against racism, sexism. All of that is part of who we are as an organization, because before I was told that I was hurting animals when I talked about these other social justice issues. So I decided to make it embedded to who we are as an organization, so nobody could claim that about the work that we do. Now, all of this has meant we don't get as much funding as organizations that simply focus on non-human animals, but we believe and we hope that we've shown that you can talk about all of these issues as one. So the issues that we work on veganism for the animals. I mean, I've been vegan, for over 30 years because I love animals, because I don't believe inherently that we have the right to take their lives from them. I don't believe that we have a right to my bunny has a right to his fur without worrying about somebody wearing it. He has a right to not to worry about people testing ingredients. He has a right to his flesh without having to worry about somebody consuming him. That is the right that all non-human animals have. So very basically, we are vegan for the animals, and trying to get people to think of a different way of looking at non-human animals. But just as quickly as we talk about the rights of non-human animals to live lives free of suffering and exploitation at the hands of human animals, we talk about farm workers, and we talk about the need for farm workers to be able to live and to thrive. These are people who are working to feed all of us. Unless you grow your own food, you have farm workers to thank. We do an annual school supply drive for the children of farm workers every year as a way to give back. We also work on legislative and regulatory changes for farm worker justice. But we can't talk about going vegan for non-human animals because the way in which they're treated, and ignore the way in which farm workers are treated for our food as well, many of whom experience homelessness, many of whom experience sexual abuse in the fields. We also work on trying to get people to not buy chocolate sourced from slavery and child labor. We like to say that just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's cruelty-free. And hopefully this slide will work. I just popped this in, so I apologize if it doesn't work. But basically, Patricia, you had a great link, a QR code, and I thought we need to start doing that too. But this should take you directly to our chocolate list of chocolates we do and do not recommend based on where they're sourcing. And we do not recommend countries that still have prevalent areas of child labor and slavery. And because we're a vegan organization, they have to at least make one vegan chocolate to make our list. And then another big part of our work also discussed is food apartheid. We are an organization that works against food apartheid. We work in Black and Brown and some Indigenous communities, not as many as we'd like, to take a look at the lack of access to healthy foods, where we do assessments on the availability of healthy foods, from frozen, canned, fresh foods, surveying every single establishment in the community. Then we do focus groups where we go to the communities who have the solutions to find out what the needs are. And then we talk about solutions to help combat food apartheid. We do this work primarily in community by community. There's no silver bullet. Every community is going to be different. We also have our vegan sites, vegan Mexican food, which is in English and in Spanish, vegan Lao food, which is in English and in Lao, vegan Filipino food, which is in English and Tagalog. We also have recipe booklets that go along with some of these. These are all because this has so far made up some of the representatives of Food Empowerment Project, our first intern, our longest serving board members, Lao. One of my previous colleagues is Filipina. I and another colleague are Mexicans. And so we want to make sure that we are able to speak to our communities, embrace our culture without the suffering of non-human animals. And one of my colleagues will be doing one on vegan Chinese food soon as well. And finally, our most recent work has been on trying to draw the connection of colonization in the dairy industry, and also that the dairy industry includes suffering of human and non-human animals, environmental racism, which goes here to California and the Latinx community members. Also colonization. A lot of times people don't understand. My ancestors, I'm indigenous to the Americas. My ancestors did not consume cow milk. That was something brought over by Columbus on his second voyage. He's the one who brought the cows over. So many times people call us lactose intolerant, but we're what we consider ourselves to be as lactose normal. Dairy is the legacy of colonization. It's not normal for us. It wasn't something our ancestors consumed. So we have a booklet with all of this information that we're mailing out to people for free. And then we've been putting up a couple of billboards. We hope to put up many more, asking Got Colonization, so that people understand the legacy that colonization still has on our lives today. So that's our work. We've been around for 15 years. Tremendous amount of volunteers have gone into the organization. So we really could just use your support to think about the ways in which your food choices can impact the world locally and globally, as well as how if you have the privilege of eating more than one time a day, the responsibility that you hold to make a difference for people around the world. And we know some of this speaks of privilege, right? Not everybody has that ability, but for those of us who do, to please take a look at your food choices. If you care about non-human animals and you have the ability to go vegan, go vegan. If you don't want to support slavery and child labor, then be careful where your chocolate comes from. But we really encourage people to eat their ethics, and really encourage you to financially support Food Empowerment Project, but all of these organizations that have been highlighted here today. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And thank you to Patricia and to Sopani and to Brenda as well for joining us today. It's been awesome to hear more. I mean, I've been reading about your work throughout the creation of this resource and before of that, but it's been great to hear it in your own words today and in your own voices today. As Lauren mentioned, one of the best things that you can do is to financially support these organizations. There is absolutely an animal advocacy, social justice funding gap that exists, and these organizations do not get the same funding opportunities that other organizations who maybe don't look at these issues do. So please do support these organizations as much as you can. We've included their links in the Facebook Live chat, and check out their websites, read about what they do, and you know, look beyond the big few animal advocacy organizations that exist in North America. There is a whole world of advocacy going on all over the place. Thank you all so much for being here, and thanks to everyone who joined us on Facebook. We'll be back again soon with another Facebook Live, and stay tuned to our social channels for news on that when it comes. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.